Row 1. Text, Notepad window, text editor, editing, end of line. Remember, this is not teaching man teacher. It is useful for recalling, when exam coming man student. Just close eyes and listen. Based on G scheme for Electronics Engineering Group. Subject, Audio Video Engineering, 17,537. These are mostly important questions which is always repeat. Form top to end it reduce repeated changes. X question 1 is more important than 2 in notes. And note warning sign that this is not all chapter.
Digital Communication Chapter 1. 1. I state the necessity of crossover network. Draw the two-way crossover network and explain its working. ANS, necessity of crossover network. 1 mark. A single cone type speaker is not able to provide uniform response and adequate output power over the entire AF range. A loudspeaker mechanism with a heavy and large diameter called woofer can reproduce low frequencies. A loudspeaker with a light and small diameter cone known as tweeter, which performs much better at the high-frequency audio frequency range. For proper functioning of a dual speaker system, it is necessary that the frequency range to be covered by the combination of speakers should be split into 2 ranges at a frequency called crossover frequency. Hence woofers and tweeters are used with crossover networks, for getting a uniform frequency response over the entire frequency range. Diagrams, 2 mark. Explanation, 1 mark. When a multi-way loudspeaker system is used to get flat frequency response for the entire range of audio frequencies, it is essential to have a crossover network to divide the incoming signal into separate frequency ranges for each speaker. In the absence of crossover networks, the speakers will suffer overheating, and the output will be distorted when full power at frequencies outside their range is fed to them. The overall efficiency will be much reduced in the absence of crossover networks. Crossover networks make use of the fact that the capacitive reactance pi decreases with increase in frequency, x equals 1/2 Fc, and the 8 pi inductive reactance increases with increase in frequency, x1 equals 2 FL. A basic crossover network is illustrated in Fig. The circuit consists of a low-pass LC filter across the woofer, and of frequencies, 16 Hz to 1000 Hz, to go to the woofer. The series reactance of L and shunt reactance of C for high audio frequencies prevents these frequencies from going to the woofer. The high-pass filter consisting of C in series and L in shunt allows the high audio frequencies to pass to the tweeter and blocks the low frequencies. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 2. F. Compare mono amplifier system with stereo amplifier system ANS, any 4 correct points. C. Draw the block diagram of hi-fi amplifier and explain it in details. ANS, explanation 02M high fidelity sound can be obtained from the recorded stereo tape, or in live system from the microphones. Stereo signal can also be obtained from the record player. The stereo signal is fed to 2 independent amplification channels through a tape mic switch. The amplifier system consists of a low-noise high-gain preamplifier, equalizer, well-designed amplifier giving flat frequency response and little distortion by using negative feedback circuit, and then the matching transformer, a balancing circuit, is incorporated to balance out then the matching the characteristics of otherwise identical circuits. The secondary of the matching transformers of each channel I connected to the respective loudspeaker column. For hi-fi, the loudspeaker columns consisting of woofer, squawker, and tweeter are used. All the blocks are designed so as to get flat frequency response, from 40 to 15,000. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 3. Hertz. Little distortion, less than 1%, high signal-to-noise ratio, more than 50 dB, and high dynamic range, 100 dB, to achieve the final output 5 of high fidelity. Diagram 02M. Figure, block diagram of hi-fi audio amplifier system. A. Compare woofer, mid-range and tweeter speaker, any 4 points. ANS. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 4. F. State the requirement of stereo amplifier to become hi-fi amplifier. Any 4, ANS, any 4 correct requirements, 1 mark each. 1. Signal-to-noise ratio should be better than 50 dB. 2. Frequency response should be flat. 3. Nonlinear distortion should not be more than 1%. 4. The system should possess dynamic range at least 8 dB. 5. Stereophonic effect should be provided. 6. Environmental conditions should be such as to eliminate the external noise in listening room. B. Draw the three-way crossover network. Also draw its frequency response. Frequency response. F. What is the graphic equalizer? Write its necessity. ANS, graphic equalizer. A graphic equalizer is a high-fidelity audio control that allows the user to see graphically and control. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 5. Individually a number of different frequency bands in a stereophonic system. A typical graphic equalizer consists of several audio filter/amplifiers, each centered at a specific frequency in the audio range. Most graphic equalizers have 2 identical sets of filter/amplifiers, one for each channel in a stereophonic system. The gain, volume, controls in most graphic equalizers are slide potentiometers that are adjusted by moving a control button up or down. Gain is increased by sliding the button upwards. The slide potentiometers for each channel are placed side by side, with the lowest frequency unit at the left and the highest frequency unit at the right. In this way, the positions of the buttons appear to follow a graphical curve that represents the gain as a function of frequency for each channel. I. Define audio amplifier. State its type. Draw its frequency response curve. ANS, definition, 2M, type, 1M, frequency response, 1M. An audio power amplifier is an electronic amplifier that increases the strength of low-power audio signals composed primarily of frequencies between 20 to 20,000 Hz, the human range of hearing, to a level suitable for driving loudspeakers. It is the final electronic stage in a typical audio playback chain. Types of audio systems: mono amplifier system, stereo amplifier system. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 6. F. Draw basic crossover network and draw its response curve. ANS. C. Describe operation of Dolby A system of noise reduction. For MANS, explanation. Dolby A was the company's first noise reduction system, presented in 1966. It was intended for use in professional recording studios, where it became commonplace, gaining widespread acceptance at the same time that multi-track recording became standard. The input signal is split into frequency bands by 4 filters with 12 dB per octave slopes, with cutoff frequencies, 3 dB down points, as follows: low pass at 80 Hz, improvement in SNR with respect to hum and rumble. Band pass from 80 Hz to 3 kHz, deals with mid-band noise. A high pass from 3 kHz, improvement in SNR with respect to hiss and modulation noise. High pass at 9 kHz. Improvement in SNR with respect to hiss and modulation noise. The output of 4 separate units is added. All this is done in side branch and this branch is known as differential network. The output of differential network goes to the main branch as shown in figure. The output of adder is the Dolby processed signal. In playback, the differential network separates out the boosted signals in the side branch and subtracts from the input signal as shown in Fig. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 7. Block diagram. Note: SNR graph optional. C. Define pre-emphasis and de-emphasis, 2M each, pre-emphasis, if the higher frequency component is artificially boosted at the transmitter and correspondingly cut at the receiver, and improvement in noise immunity could be expected. This boosting of the higher modulating frequencies, in accordance with a prearranged curve, is termed as pre-emphasis. De-emphasis, the compensation of attenuation of high-frequency component for proper reproduction of modulating signal at the receiver which are already. Digital Communication Chapter 1. 8. Boosted up at the transmitter is known as de-emphasis. D. Describe public addressing system and mono amplifier. Diagram: 1M each. Explanation: 1M each, mono amplifier. In mono amplifier only one amplifier is used and it gives one direction sound. Mic: it converts original information into electrical signal, which is fed as input to first stage. Pre-amplifier: voltage amplifier is used as pre-amplifier or first stage. The main function of voltage amplifier is to amplify audio signal voltage to drive power amplifier. Power amplifier: it is last stage which feeds amplifier audio power to drive loudspeaker. Loudspeaker: it converts electrical signal into original sound. Public addressing system.